Let's pick things up there with tonight's Political Insider. Joining me, Dave Levinthal, senior political reporter at the Center for Public Integrity. Dave, Donald Trump and Sarah Palin aren't the only ones going after Ted Cruz. A left-leaning Texas watchdog group is urging federal regulators to investigate Cruz's failure to fully disclose $1 million in loans to his 2012 Senate campaign. Bring us up to date.
Cruz effectively disclosed the loan in a congressional forum, but did not disclose the loan in Federal Election Commission reports that he has to file in the heat of the campaign. His argument is, well, look, I made a clerical error. My campaign messed up a little bit, but it's nothing really major. But the Federal Election Commission has gone after political committees and candidates for much less than this. That's for sure. But the other flip side to that, or the flip side to that, Morris, is that the Federal Election Commission often can take months, even years, to investigate such matters, even if ultimately they do punish people. And sometimes they just simply deadlock 3-3. It's a 6-member body if they can't come to an ultimate conclusion. So we may not hear the end of this until 2018, 2019, sometime long after the presidential election is done and over.
You've told us many a time before on Capitol Insider it's been understaffed, not enough teeth for a big bite to begin with, so this could drag on. The competition for Iowa on both sides of the political divide is heating up. Every small advantage matters. You're tracking form letters from super PACs to the Federal Election Commission. Here's an example from a pro-Hillary Clinton super PAC. This letter serves to officially notify the Federal Election Commission that Priorities USA Action will file its reports on a monthly basis to the Commission as of January 1, 2016. Now, Dave, this sounds harmless enough. Why should voters care?
And viewers may already have fallen asleep, but there's a real practical implication. It's sort of like those annoying ads on the internet. Use this one weird trick and you'll lose 20 pounds, or you'll take 10 years off your face. Well, effectively what super PACs can do is use something that's been on the books for a long, long time at the federal level and switch their filing status so that they file reports on a monthly basis instead of a semi-annual basis. Now, they can do this once a year. The practical implications, again, for super PACs is the ones that are very active in New Hampshire and Iowa, the first in the nation caucus and primary. If they switch in January, they effectively, after you get through all the technicalities, don't have to disclose who their big-time donors are prior to those contests taking place, at least for the month of January. Instead, they'll file a report that lists them through December. And if you're a voter in Iowa, if you're a voter in New Hampshire, you may want to know who's responsible and behind the millions and millions of dollars worth of TV and digital ads that you're seeing in the moment. So, if Sheldon Adelson or some big guy comes in at the last second and dumps a whole bunch of money in, you'll know after the fact, not before the fact.
Why can't the FEC close this loophole?
The FEC has looked into it. I've talked to several commissioners who said, well, we're not going to be able to do anything in the here and now for 2016, but we may look at this going forward. A couple of others said, and I've talked to some election law lawyers who said, this is probably not the FEC's problem. Congress is ultimately going to have to fix this and pass a rule or pass a law, pass a statute, instead of the FEC passing a rule to address this problem. And in a way, you can't blame the super PACs for taking advantage of something that is legal and is on the books, but it's something that, at least if you care about transparency, is not helping your cause all that much.
And we know it's crunch time, Dave. In today's political climate, it takes a lot of money to survive a presidential primary. What happens after Iowa and New Hampshire? Do you expect most of the lower-tier candidates to drop out?
Not necessarily, Morris. You may have some low-tier candidates who stick in for the long haul. I'm thinking of somebody like Ron Paul in 2012, who, even though he wasn't winning much of anything, he was still persisting. His campaign was still going on, and he took it all the way to the convention. What you may have is some of the candidates who are just mired in the middle of the pack, particularly on the Republican side, who haven't won Iowa, they haven't won New Hampshire, they go to South Carolina and Nevada, the states right after that, they don't win there, and they're kind of a whole lot of nowhere at that point, so they may have to reassess their campaigns. And you're thinking about people like Jeb Bush, who, if they don't have some early success, may just have to bow out because they're not getting the requisite support to really sustain their campaign for the long haul.
Before you go, I'd like to note that Thursday is the 6th anniversary of Citizens United. Senator Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump are two of the most outspoken critics of super PACs. Their disavowal of all that campaign cash helped cement their outsider status, but I'm curious, if elected, could they do anything to reverse the court's decision, or is it all hot air?
I think Barack Obama may be the best example, Morris, of somebody who came in with very lofty ideals about money and politics and ethics and really had all of that go nowhere. So Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, whoever it might be, somebody who's talking about big money in politics is bad and super PACs and these nonprofit groups that are playing big in elections, they should all go away. Even if they came in and got elected on either the Republican or Democratic side, it may be very difficult because of one factor, and that's Congress. So unless Congress was to shift radically one way or the other, and unless Democrats were to take both sides over, or for that matter, Donald Trump gets elected and has a Republican Congress that he's able to work with, absent that, it may be a lot of the status quo, save for what happens in the judiciary, where much of the action has taken place in this arena over the past many years.
Money talks. Dave Levinthal, senior political reporter at the Center for Public Integrity. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Morris.